Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Sorry for any background noise. My mom's getting my sister stuff ready for college, which is the perfect segue into today's video. A coffee convo. Got a little autumnal mug because it's very cloudy outside today and I'm just so ready for fall and sweaters and the crisp air and taking a million super cute pictures in the European autumn. So, speaking of college and going back to school, that's what our coffee combo is about today. I wanted to tell you guys stuff that maybe people won't tell you about going to college. When you guys are leaving, you know, it's all about, oh my gosh, you're going to meet all these amazing people, it's going to be great, and it is. Don't get me wrong, I've gotten to do all kinds of cool things. I've been snow tubing, gone to cool museums, gone out, gone on adventures. It's a good time. Visited all sorts of different states since going to college. But you gotta be careful with what you're doing and who you're being friends with and just what's going on in general. So, my first rule, be careful with random roommates. It's gonna be like Lauren's little rule book and guide us to how to succeed in college without really trying. That's what this is basically. So, be careful with roommates. My very first roommate, we did not get along at all. It was not a good situation. She moved out within the first semester. It's kind of cool at the second semester because then I was living by myself and I was doing the most. But at first, not as great. No one talked to each other. Things built up. So if you are living with a stranger, make sure they're not a stranger. Talk to them, get to know them, find some sort of common ground, and just like ask questions and be friendly. Second time around getting a random roommate with my girl Bree, who you guys have met a few times in vlogs, that was a good situation. We talked all the time, we jump roped, we watched movies together. Just make friends with the person, you know, get to know them, ask questions about their lives. Just about a month or so, not even into living together, we drove from Western Washington back to school, and over the car ride we just talked, got to know each other, spilled our life stories. It was amazing. And I just highly recommend really getting to know who you're living with, and by sophomore, junior year, live with people you know and are friends with. I lived with Juliana last year. We had a great time. We'd go to our usual melting pot every year for finals. We would just sit and talk some nights. She left me like chocolate dipped strawberries at the beginning of the year when she was working at a fair, and I got her like really cute stuff for her birthday, and we made each other a priority and hung out. And then I got to live with Allison and Danny, who were amazing. Loved being right next door because I would just pop over and be like, hey guys, what's up, what's new? And we would just sit and talk for hours. I would go in probably like 9 o'clock in the evening and I'd be there till 11:30 and then be like, oh yeah, I kind of need to go back to bed. And also befriend someone and live with someone who has around the same schedule as you. Juliana and I went to bed kind of earlier every night, and then we were able to wake up early in the morning. That was the best thing I've ever done for myself because I knew Juliana went to bed early. I was like, oh my gosh, I need to go to sleep and get ready for my day. And then I was able to wake up earlier, go to my morning classes, and I was so much more alive than I would have been if I stayed up super late. Because I remember staying up really late freshman year and always going to bed at like midnight, 1 in the morning, and then being all groggy going into my classes. Last year, not an issue. Go to bed by 11 or 12, be up by 7 or 8 in the morning, got my full hours of sleep, and I was ready to go. So, always know who you're living with. And then I'm also living with Juliana, Danny, and Allison. This upcoming year in our house, when I'm back from Europe, it's going to be a blast. We're all pretty clean, organized, and we love hanging out with each other. So, live with people you know. It's my biggest tip. You gotta do it. 2. Cut out friends you don't need in your life. Freshman year, made a lot of strange friendship choices, did not last long. The only friends I've really had since the beginning of college are Amanda and Juliana. Everyone else is kind of just fizzled off to the side. You gotta be careful with what you're doing. If someone's just not being very nice, cut them out. Be like, bye. There's plenty of other people at college that are going to be kind to you, take care of you, you take care of them. It's going to be a really beautiful relationship. And during your freshman year, try and get to know the people you're living around. I did not do that very much, and all the other girls on my floor got to know each other really well and hung out all the time. I did a tiny bit, but not as much as I wish I had. and then I would have had more friends, but we make mistakes and we learn from them. But definitely get to know people outside of your room. If you're living in a suite, try to get to know people in the other suites. My next door neighbor had no idea who they were, ended up working with one of the guys this last summer, and the girls on the other side, I actually volunteered with one of them. She was so sweet. Taylor, I think you guys have seen her before, and her roommate Maggie, super adorable girls. Very glad that I got to know them, talk to them. Taylor and I had a lot in common. We both work at Nordstrom and just absolutely love it there. And we loved volunteering with our little kiddos, which was so cute. And just try and get out of your bubble a little bit. I know it's hard, especially sophomore year, when you're like, oh, I already have my friend group. I don't want to get to meet new people. Meet new people. Literally, get out there, talk to different people. And the same thing goes with your classes. Don't just show up for class and put zero effort in and just, oh, I don't need to do anything. I'm going in and out. Make friends, get to know people. I've gotten to know my buddies Max, Kasaya, Michael, all of these great guys in my communications courses who I would just sit and talk to, and we had like group chats going. It was so cute and wholesome, and I would have never done it if I just kind of like showed up to class, didn't care. And what I always would do is just dress in clothes that I really like, always dress up a little bit. I mean, I wasn't going like super fancy or anything, but put a little makeup on, try-ish with your hair, wear like jeans and a shirt of some sort, and you're going to walk into class feeling more confident and a lot happier. I know everyone's like, oh, you'll wear sweatshirts stuff, and if you feel confident in that, go for it. I'm not going to blame you, more power to you. I would wear my workout clothes to my morning classes because I'd go to the gym right afterwards, but for the majority of the day, I'd be dressed up, looking my best, because when you look good, you feel good. And I remember at the very beginning of college, I never really tried with my outfits, and I wasn't feeling this great. But once I started to put back in my fashion and creativity, college was a lot better. So that's like my third rule, try with your outfits. And our second rule was live with people that you know and get out there, make friends, because it's going to be crucial. And number 4, go out and do stuff. I'm telling you, at my school especially, there's a thing called the Gonzaga bubble, and people that go to my school will sit and always be on campus and never really go far. I mean, there's bars nearby and stuff, so really you can kind of get away with just being on campus, but I would always go to Target. I'd travel to Idaho and explore. Get out of where you are. That's going to do wonders for you. You'll meet new people, you'll be interacting with more than just college students. Volunteer, that's like another rule 5. Get involved in your community. I volunteered with the local elementary schools, and I want to get involved again in some capacity this next year when I'm back from study abroad. But definitely try and volunteer, do something, maybe even work out in the community. I know that I'm planning to work at the Nordstrom back in Spokane, again, interact with people in the area outside of school, because you can get very trapped in where you are. It's not good, especially if you're going to school in a big city. Get to know your new city. Like, this is your new home. Hopefully you guys are moving out of where you live now. That's another huge tip. Get out of wherever you are, even if it's like an hour away. I mean, I'm 5 hours from where I live, so I'm really just able to have my own life over there and have all this independence and do things for myself, which for me has been amazing. I love being on my own, doing my own thing, not having to call to anybody. It's the life. It's the way to go, I'm telling you. But rewinding a little bit to rule 5 and getting out of where you are, make friends with people with cars if you need to. I mean, try not to use people because that's really messed up, but just go out and do stuff and always say yes to new opportunities. That's where I was going with this story. I remember there were times where I was like, oh, I don't really want to do X, Y, or Z, but people were like, come on, let's go do it. I had a blast. I remember not really wanting to, I think, go to like a little music concert at the beginning of last year. The American authors came to the little park in Spokane and had like a free concert, and I was like, oh, that kind of sounds weird, I don't know. But I was like, you know what, I'm going to say yes because my friends are going. We had a blast. We sat, we sang, we danced around. Before that, we had gotten like IHOP and just had so much fun. Because you never know who you're going to meet, what's going to happen when you say yes to a random opportunity. I also remember freshman year going to Pig Out in the Park, which is a big kind of like food truck festival in Spokane, right on the river, and everyone goes, tries out different meals, and you just get to kind of meet and mingle with people. And I wish I even took more advantage of that opportunity and met even more people, because I'm telling you guys, it changed lives. You've got to get out there and say yes to different opportunities. I mean, if it doesn't sound safe, obviously don't do that. But if it's safe and if it's with different people, even people you're not close with. I remember going to Juliana's birthday freshman year, and I was like, oh, I don't really know who's going to be there. That's when I met Allison. Allison and I are like the bestest of friends. We're going to see each other very soon, hang out, and I don't know what life is without her now. We always go to church together. If you're religious, try and find people that are of the same religious background and go to church together, worship together, and try and find like-minded people. I've noticed that, because I'm Catholic, when I'm hanging out with my Catholic friends, all bets are off. It's so nice to have people that just really understand you, that you can talk to about everything, because when you're just kind of hanging out with people that have like very different beliefs, while it's good to have those kinds of friends, it's even more enriching when it's people that really connect to you on those deeper, more personal levels, you know. But also try and get out there. If you're single, go out there and meet new people. I was talking to a friend last night who really didn't make that a huge priority this last year, and I was like, girl, this next year you really just need to like go out there and meet people. I mean, you don't have to like date or anything. I'm not planning on dating for a while still, but it's always good to meet new people, kind of explore what you like, what you don't, and it's always fun to meet new people. And then you have all these cool memories. I've got all kinds of stories of me and guys. I'm not going to get into it here, but you know, that's all what college is about, is meeting new people, getting those new experiences. It's your time by yourself. You're free. A lot of us are single, ready to mingle. That's what it's all about, you know. Try and make new friends. Talk to people. If you like someone, let them know. Just like go out and get to know them and stuff. Maybe become their friend at first, and then hopefully something will happen from there. But try not to just stay in your bubble and be contained and like stay in every weekend, because I did that freshman year for part of the year. I did not like it. Did not go well for me. I'm one of those people, especially that just needs to be out there, meeting new people, socializing. And so going out, and I mean, it didn't need to be parties. I really didn't like partying a ton this last year. I did a little bit, but nothing too crazy. It was a lot of just hanging out with my friends. Remember one evening, oh my gosh, it was so fun. Amanda and I went to dinner, and then we came back and baked cookies on a Friday night, and then we had such a good time. There was no partying involved or anything, but we just got to hang out, have a girls' night, eat some bomb cookies, get to just kind of have our time, and it was so good. So don't forget to take time for your friends and really just get to know them. Allison and I, and even with Danny and her boyfriend Garrett, we would just sometimes go and make trips to Sherry's and get some pie, hang out, relax. Those are those good memories that are going to stick with you, and you're going to look fondly and like, oh yeah, those times when we had pie, hanging out. You know, you can't just trap yourself again at school. You got to go out there and be social. And now, we got to talk about balance, because I'm talking about being social, having fun. Those are huge. But you guys need to make school your first priority. I've kind of struggled with that, I'll be real, especially when I was in the business school and not having the best time. I wasn't putting as much effort in. Now that I'm in a major that I love, which also, side note, don't feel bad if you need to switch majors. I really didn't want to. For the longest time, I was like, oh, that sounds terrifying. I went into college, oh, I'm going to be a marketing major, do all the business classes. I learned that wasn't for me. It was hard. I didn't want to have to go through all the trouble of switching majors, but I am forever grateful that I did, because now I get to be creative, have fun. I mean, during finals week, I was just sitting and editing podcasts and videos and writing cool papers and doing amazing projects that I never would have expected to do. And while I was getting a little stir crazy at some points, because when you're on a computer for 3-4 hours straight, you're like, I'm going crazy. But I would have much rather done that than study for tests, which was a lot of what I did in business. I hate tests, not good at them. I'd much rather write a paper. In comm, my last final I just finished the other day, just writing a giant paper. I can easily knock that out. It was so fun. I loved it. So do something you enjoy. Don't go to school thinking you have to do something because other people tell you to. I know my parents wanted me to be a business major and do all this. It wasn't for me. Sometimes it's a hard road to get there. I cried in a bathroom. Happens to the best of us. Don't feel ashamed if you have low moments. I missed a final last year. I forgot what time it was and messed it up a little bit. I went, my final was done. It was terrible. But I made sure to hit up the teacher a few times, and she was like, you can take it on the other day. So I was like, thank goodness, got an A out of the class. We were good, but you need to make school a priority. I did with this last semester, always showed up to class, loved it because we'd always have these fun discussions. I was learning so many cool topics. I loved the different communication classes, meeting all of the comm majors, and you really form a community when you actually start talking to your classmates. You know, I even remember in business, at first I really didn't talk to anyone, I just kind of showed up, and then as the semester wore on, I met this amazing kid, Keith. We would sit in the back of the room, talk a bit, learn together, and you just have a community where you are. Because it makes school a lot more fun and a little less lonely. Even if you guys don't necessarily hang out outside of class, when you have those classmates, you're like, hey, did you get the homework done? Do you remember how X, Y, or Z goes? And then you have another friendly face on campus, which makes school even better if you ask me. And also make sure to have study buddies. I know Danny and I are comm majors. We'd always study for different tests together, and I love just kind of going to her room and we'd work together, get things figured out. That was really important because it's a bit of a social aspect, but you're still putting school first. And also try and work on your time management. I struggle with that. I still struggle with that. Writing my paper last week was kind of a mess. I should have taken it into more chunks. If you have a huge project, definitely try and chunk it out. But kind of think, okay, what do I have to do? How am I going to get there? And set aside just school time. If you need to go somewhere else besides your room to study, go for it. We have these amazing study rooms at our school in our big Hemmingson Student Center where we can just go. And I have done recordings of things, worked on different projects and assignments. They have whiteboards in there, and you kind of just get to be free and creative, and you're outside of your element. And also maybe study in places where there's a little more people. I mean, if you're studying for a test and stuff, definitely be by yourself. But if you're working on something a little more like a writing piece or kind of a more creative assignment, definitely sit at a coffee shop or in your student center and watch people go by, see what others are doing, and maybe that'll help inspire you for your assignment and your mind can kind of wander. So definitely make school a priority, but also have fun. These are the 4 best years of your lives, you guys. I mean, I'm also excited for adulthood, but definitely appreciate the time that you're in college. Don't try and rush it. Don't be like, oh, I want to be an adult now, I just want to go. Take your time. It's really fun, especially if you're going to a 4-year school like I've done. It's so amazing because you meet so many cool people. You really just kind of get to take your time, go with the flow. It's kind of like high school, but a gazillion times better because you're always meeting new people. Don't be afraid to befriend. Oh, this is another one. Don't be afraid to befriend people in different grades. A lot of my friends are older than me. I know a few people younger than me. It's always nice to have that mix. I mean, definitely the majority of my friends are my age because we're all in the same grade. We have classes together. We live together since we have to live with people our age the first 2 years. So it's kind of helps you get to know different people. But also, I remember talking to a lot of the girls that were a year above me on my floor in my hallway, and we all kind of would intermingle because it was freshman, sophomore. So I'd talk to the sophomores, get to know, hey, what's good to know about school, what's not, what classes to take, and always just kind of have that little community. And that's also another thing. Be smart about the classes you're taking. Of course, have a grand master plan, but I always would make a spreadsheet right before I signed up for classes to kind of decide what classes fit into what time zones and what would be good for what else I'm doing. When I was volunteering a lot, I'd make sure my Tuesdays and Thursdays were open so I could get a lot of volunteer work done and kind of my extracurriculars, and then having Monday, Wednesday, Friday as my whole school days. And now for me, I also have taken like really early classes, night classes. I learned that I can get up early and do early morning classes like 8 a.m.s if I'm going to bed early, and just make sure that I get up at like 7, get ready real quick, eat a breakfast. That's important. Always have breakfast. I get like an oatmeal and an ice cream tea, and just go to class feeling a little more refreshed and having something in your stomach, 'cause then you can think better, you know? I would always forget to get breakfast and just take like forever to get up, but when you like force yourself to get moving early on your day, you just have so much more time, you get so much done. I remember when I first started to like wake up early, go to the gym in the morning, eat breakfast, I was like, I'm getting so much accomplished. And then you have the whole rest of your day to do homework, you're more refreshed because you had that workout. And if you're into fitness, try and get out and move a little bit. I started going to the gym back in December and January, and I'm still trying to maintain that. I'd go to Pilates twice a week at school, work out, do weights for the rest of the week, and it was a really good way for me to let go of stress and just kind of focus on myself for a bit and get rid of some tension or whatever was going on in my life. And then I was able to focus better on school because, you know, my brain was a lot more whoosh instead of wow, like going crazy, you know? You feeling me? I feel like you are. So I think that's all of my college tips and tricks. Have fun, be safe, be smart, and enjoy these next few years. It's going to be amazing. And that's kind of all I've got. I've got 2 more years at my school. I'm studying abroad soon. So I'm of course learning just like you guys are. I feel like you're never done. But if you guys are going into college or going into your 2nd, 3rd year, it's going to be bomb. Have a good time. And I will talk to you guys next week. Thank you guys so much for watching. And don't forget to like and subscribe and come back for more videos. You know I'm always doing them, and my channel is really starting to grow. We're at 300, which is insane. So let's keep boosting that number, okay guys? And with that, I'll see you later. Bye!